So it's going to run through that data. And as it's running through that data on the Google Sheet, it most likely is going to give us an email. And as we're seeing it, it gave us an email of the analysis based on what we have. This is SIP. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own data mining agent, how to refine your data and have it send emails to you in your inbox so you're updated with the data that you have, right? So let's get right into it. Why do you even need this specific agent in the first place? Well, here's the thing. When you want to grow a business, cutting down costs is one thing. Refining your data is one thing. And having you to grow faster and create revenue is one thing. Now, in this chart that we see here, right? In early 2015, let's say that's when OpenAI, all these things just came out, right? As we're seeing it, it doubles almost every year. Right now, we're in the year 2025, which most people are starting to understand what AI agents are. Right? But by 2030, which most likely this is going to be the mass effect, the masses, everybody else is going to be using this type of thing in their day-to-day basis, whether it's at work, whatever they're doing, it just compounds heavily, right? So right now we're here, but we don't know how to use it on a day-to-day basis. This is why we're creating this type of case study so you understand what you can do with it. If you can save time, make more money, help other people achieve the same thing. Now I have 10 different niches, you could say, that I've crafted they'll benefit from having their data scraped, having their data refined, and actually having AI automations help them in the first place. The first niche is e-commerce. Now, what can they benefit from when it comes to these things? Automated sales and inventory tracking, something that you can deploy as a custom AI model. So if you're someone that wants to help people deploy custom AI models, having things like this, automated sales and inventory, is something they could benefit off right off the bat if they don't already have anything in place. Who could benefit from this? Mid-sized Shopify brands, anybody that you can reach out to. First, we want to identify who uses AI agents in this place, especially the one that we're going to show you right now. The second, you want to go into the market and present a case study, thesis, or messaging to help us either land clients or use this type of scenarios for ourselves if we are any of those businesses. Now, a lot of these businesses, the e-commerce space, they spend about 40 hours a month just managing their data, going through their data, making sure who bought, who put in the cart, who didn't put in the cart, right? That's quite a bit. Now, if you are even just remotely hiring someone minimum wage, it's $1,200 in labor, minimum, lowest place on earth, you could say, and anywhere else, right? The revenue impact is quite a bit. When you look at it, if they have something in place to speed things up, 5 to 10%, if you could showcase some messaging to them, you can probably get them another 25K extra a month. Now, which mom and shop or Etsy shop wouldn't want that, right? So the best value add for someone in the e-commerce space is having predictive analytics, a custom AI to forecast their SKU demand and automate the reordering logic. Sounds complex, but in reality, what this is our data mining agent, which we'll show you here in a second, right? So e-commerce could benefit from. SaaS companies also, something they have difficulties with when it comes to anyone launching products, product hunt, they run into something that's called churn, right? And the way you could actually eliminate churn is providing value. Now, most SaaS companies, they don't really do that. They don't really provide weekly type of value points of why their clients are using their software. So if they could have some type of system that showcases them, their churn rate, they could become more serious on understanding why people are churning, how they're churning, and actually lower that churn by maybe 2%, right? So if they were to kind of spend their time going through their data, whatever type of data they have, and get updates manually, they're not going to do it. That's going to take a lot of time off their plate. That's 15 hours a week they have to spend. And time is money. Basic math, if you do that, they're losing a lot of money. So they don't do it. Then you can come in and showcase that value point for them and pretty much tell them, hey, you know what? We'll reduce your churn, but analyzing the data points, see how many people are churning within your business. And we'll give you an update in your email of what that looks like, right? So you can use that to lower churn and retain your customers. It will make it better for you, right? So other type of businesses you could also use, maybe retail business, right? Someone want to know how much cash is coming in, how many employees they have, which is the slow time, which is not a slow time, what is performing best when we do promotions, and how can we increase sales? So when you analyze those data points, you have a custom AI agent running through that data and giving that feedback instead of having someone manually to do it. You can understand some of those metrics, right? You can understand some of the metrics, see what's underperforming, and what kind of promotions could go on and help you. Maybe you could replicate those promotions as well, right? Another sector that's very interesting, I don't see it being utilized too often, is the education space, right? So a lot of people, let's say if you sell courses online or any type of education consulting space, a big factor that is having people actually get value, get results. And not a lot of people really focus on that. So what you could come and do, instead of reducing it, so you have a school group or something like that, you can reduce that churn rate by making sure you keep up with the retention. You analyze your metrics, how many people are churning and what is causing that. Maybe we could set up a type of accountability, something to, lower the risk of having people really opt out, right? So that's pretty much it. What you can provide in the value add is a personalized recommendations, identifying their behavioral dropout prediction, and the type of AI agent so they can analyze that data, give you updates to see what's happening in the market and things like that, right? So again, that's a very good value point. You're not going to spend a lot of time running through that yourself. Matter of fact, when you're in the education space, you're mostly focused on creating value, educating yourself so you can educate others, right? So that's where your time is going instead of running through the data. So an AI agent could really provide value to you yourself, or if you want to deploy that for someone else, that's a good value point, right? So we have consulting agents, right? Maybe a consulting agency wants to understand how many projects they're taking on per month. That's another good one. Now, if they're trying to manage these projects to see who we're deploying these projects for, you could probably spend a lot of hours doing that instead of having your AI agent give you updates, right? So your bottleneck in this situation could be your time, understanding where you're going, allocating your time, who you should focus on, and have something in place to do that. This is something I pretty much could use myself right now, because right now I'm mostly focused on building. So that's a very good value point. You can definitely provide this to consultants as well. Have them to have faster reporting so they can keep on track, right? Because their mind is very occupied with all these projects. And if they want to improve the client trust, retention, which I believe something that, we all could work on, an AI agent could help you kind of keep accountable yourself, analyze what you're working on, find out what, you could go. Now we have different sectors as well. You have finance, they spend a lot of time understanding, trying to see which parts of their business they should automate. Now we have different sectors as well. We have finance, HR, all these beautiful things, right? Now, what I want to do for you is imagine if you were on a call right now, right? Some of the objections some of these people have, they don't understand what's going on. Even you watching this video, you might be like, what is this guy even talking about, right? Maybe this is not for me. It's not ready yet. So if you hop on a sales call, if you eventually hop on a sales call by executing some of the things we talk about, these are some of the probably things that you may run into on a sales call. They might be like, yeah, we already have something like this. They probably have some type of old school Zapier type of automation, or they're using Go High Level, whatever they can, nothing custom. Okay. They might tell you, yeah, we already have something, or we do this manually. We're good. Now, what you could say as a rebuttal on the sales call, so yes, that's exactly why this is powerful. Automation doesn't replace your team. It augments them. Instead of wasting hours pulling your data and making reports, your team can shift to high impact work like strategy, decision making, innovation, and things like that, unlocking their potential. That's a good rebuttal you could use. All right. So some people might say, we don't have a budget for this right now. Right. So you could be like, hey, this could be a revenue generating asset. This could make you a lot of money. If you were to say, and if you have deals falling through the cracks and you're able to prevent that, how much more money do you think you could make? Right. So if you're letting these deals fall through the cracks, whether it's small, whatever it is, you can make some money. So what we can do, we can start small, prove return of investment fast, and scale as needed. So that's another rebuttal I think was interesting. You could definitely use, right? So what else? Some people might say, we tried automation before and it didn't work well. This is a good one. I really like this one. And the reason, what you want to say to them is something like along these lines of this. That's because it wasn't actually tailored to your workflows or lacked scalability. What we bring is a combination of process design, data flow mapping, and AI integration. Not just automation, but intelligence and long-term alignment with your goal. Right? This is a good one, right? Because a lot of people understand automation. They understand these things, but they don't understand custom AI automation, what it could do from. So in order for us to do this, we'll have to hop on a call, analyze what you're doing, what your processes are, so we can build the AI agent custom to your workflows with intelligence to help you speed things up. All right. Perfect. So those are all just some value points you can get out of them if you do hop on the sales call. But without further ado, let's test this AI automation that we have in place right now. See if we gave it some data on the Google Sheet, right? Our goal is to get an email, an update. We're busy. We're doing our thing, right? So it's going to run through that data. And as it's running through that data on the Google Sheet, it most likely is going to give us an email. And as we're seeing it, it gave us an email of the analysis based on what we have. So it gave us the data points that we have. Now, because it's a generic data point, in reality, what we're looking at is, for example, for your use case, it could be analyzing maybe how many people you reached out to this month or how many emails that you sent out, right? So as we're seeing, you can say total email records, 200 in the last week. Total new opt-ins, 200 in the last week. Total value, you can say 254 for potential deals, right? These are the things. This is very generic, the data point, right? But essentially what it's doing is giving it the data point that we analyze the data, right? We haven't customized this exactly to a use case. It is very generic. So for your unique case, you have to spend more time to understand exactly what data points you want, right? If you're looking for how many emails you sent out, how many people replied to your messages. But the whole point of this is whatever data point you have on a Google Sheet like this, you can have it run through, give you an email, whether that Google Sheet gets updated, whether it updates the record, and go on and so forth. So if you found this video helpful and you want to see more use cases of how you can use AI, custom AI automation for yourself, maybe for other businesses, definitely comment, link below, or subscribe so we know that you would like to hear more about this type of stuff. All right, I'll see you on the next video.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.